Hey, this is Mike from Junkion Crafts and Builds, and this is the impressions video of the Coffin Comics Legacy Series, La Muerta. Now, this is made by Executive Replica. This is one of the highly anticipated figures out of the newest trio of releases from this company. Now, I picked up my copy at nerdzoic.com, but let's go ahead and check out this package real quick. And without the glare, you can see, we got Legacy Series up top here, as well as on front and center with a nice big open window showing La Muerta and most of her accessories. Coffin Comics down below. We have a beautiful piece of artwork here on the side, as well as on the other side here. And on the back, on the bottom, we have a cross-sell of these other figures. And we have this nice product shot here on the back showing La Muerta all decked out and in a fight. For her bio, there it is right there if you want to pause and check it out. Basically, she is a sexier version of the Punisher from Mexico. So, that's it. Let's get her out of the box. All right, we have her out of her packaging, and first impressions of it is she's a very stylized and very pretty figure. Not perfect. So we're going to kind of go through that here and give you my real honest-to-goodness thoughts. And overall, I mean, she is definitely a stylized little figure here. The face paint is absolutely immaculate on her here. Really, really beautiful. We got some, deco here for the hair. We got a bit of a wash. But like I said, not perfect. I do have a paint blemish here, as well as there. Just a little bit of fit and finish, I think, on her. I know this is my first loose collector figure, so I'm not sure what all I should be eyeing here. But yeah, overall, I think this fits the aesthetic of the comic book series that that Coffin Comics has produced. She's, like I said, definitely proportioned for a specific viewpoint here. But yeah, just the whole idea of like the skulls and the skeleton here for the Day of the Dead definitely kind of works for me. So overall, I think her aesthetic is really cool. She definitely is going to hopefully work into my collection here. But yeah, let's see. Let's hit accessories up real quick. And for accessories, we're going to start with the basic stuff here. And she comes with this really huge combat knife. Definitely black and just a little bit of gold here for the hilt. It's definitely got like a textured, stylized sculpt here. Sorry about that. On the blade itself. Just looks really big next to her though. We have a belt that will hold the knife, as well as some other gear here showing. We have a multi-tool, various pouches that have like nice little accents here on for the buttons, and then two holsters here in the back for her pistols, which are right here. So she gets a pair of pistols, nice small 9mm, looks like. No blast effect or anything like that, just simple black plastic. And her pistols slide into the back of the belt here. Maybe it's just more of a pain in the butt on my end. There we go. So there we fixed it up so it looks proper and they fit in there pretty securely. Just like that. And just to check out the blade, it slides right in here fairly easily. So she's packing a lot of stuff in the back there. So we'll see how this actually fits on her when we put the belt on. She comes with a pair of automatic rifles. Again, just simple black plastic, the same type of textured sculpt that we had on the blade. So magazines are not removable, so this is all one simple sculpt. Pretty firm here. So we got that. Her final weapon is this big assault rifle. With a scope, so I'm assuming this is more like her DMR or her sniper rifle, potentially. So yeah, same thing, no blast effect, hole No removable magazine. She comes with a foot stand, which is clear plastic, but it's kind of quirky. So we got 3 pegs across the back here, and then we have loose collector. Loose collector along the bottom, but if you're putting this down, right, it's backwards and upside down. So not really the the most interesting thing, because if you put it up this way, yeah, it's perfect, but not really going to use that for anything. So interesting thing there, foot stand. So out of the box, she comes with a pair of fists plugged in, and they are on a horizontal hinge, and they can be easily removed and switched out with a pair of open, relaxed palms, also on a horizontal hinge. Her final 2 pairs of hands are a pair of trigger hands on a vertical hinge, and then a pair of item holding hands. But interesting enough, this item holding hand has no hinge at all. So basically she's holding it straight up, and that's about it. So that's kind of interesting to note. I'm not sure why that decision was made by this company, but with the other articulation points here, hopefully we can compensate for that. Now, I will say all the hands are molded out of black plastic with this flesh tone paint on here. Not the greatest job on it, in my opinion, especially concerned with these trigger hands and item holding hands, and how well the paint is going to last inside here after repeated use. So here the trigger finger and grip, and also specifically here with this item holding hand, when you pull the blade out, which is, there we go, there's paint inside, but as you can tell, it's not really done too much inside the palm. Let's see. Articulation, obviously with all this hair, you're not getting too terrible much, but you can get down that far. Nothing really back. I really wish they could have came with an alternate head, because if you look at her at the comic series, she's usually gritting or yelling or something. So a more emotive face would have been pretty cool. But I mean, this is just kind of that stoic, dead look, coming at you. But it kind of belies things with, like, when you have your hair sculpted in such a fashion where it's kind of whipping around, but you're just kind of standing there. So anyway, can't tell. I think it's just on a dumbbell here. Shoulders, of course, can go 360 around. And if I pull this up now, it's a little tight, so I'm going to be a little careful because I never messed with these things before. But one ratchet, and it's a big one too, a big detent, to get the T-pose. All right, we have bicep rotation on a soccer PVC upper arm, double jointed pinless elbows. Not horrible looking. Let's see if I can get this detent down. That's a little tight. It makes me a little nervous. Okay, so upper torso, we have all the torso articulation is going to be with this, I'm assuming, dumbbell or barbell joint here underneath her bosom. So it's sculpted kind of mid torso. And with that, you can get down a little bit, back a decent amount, and you get some tiltage here. Not a huge amount. Nice. Oh, wait, there we go. So there's that. And with a few twists, apparently she pops right off. So there you can see the how she's made inside. And while we're at it, we might as well put the belt on here. That just slides off and on, and we just kind of plug her back in place. There we go. So if you start twisting her too much, she's going to pop apart. Anyhow, all right. So let's move down to the legs. No drop downs or anything, so we have a simple thing. She can go and spread her legs that far before hitting her hips here. You can go, let's see, up that far. So, I mean, fairly decent kick. If I go to the side, not that much, but yeah, it's not too bad. And then we have a smartly hidden mid-thigh cut here. So it kind of goes along the more symmetrical portion of the leg. so it doesn't break the sculpt here. Then we have pinless double jointed knees. So that's kind of nice. Her proportions seem a little off from the lower leg to the upper leg. It seems a little long, but we also have a very stylized high boot here. Really nicely decoed with silver accents and that. We have a boot swivel here as well, so that's nice. And for our ankles, we can go down that far, up a fair amount, and we got a pivot. And a really decent little texture here in the bottom of the boot with a foot peg in the front of the foot. Not too bad. Joints seem fairly well toleranced, except, like I said, around the midriff. Seems to want to pop off kind of easy. But yeah, she's not a bad figure at all. Get some decent poses here. The weapons, like I said, they're a little bland. Might swap them out with some Valiverse weapons. Sorry for the traffic outside there. But yeah, overall, I mean, she seems pretty cool. I don't know, something that is a little plain with her. I say that as looking at a lady in makeup and a skeleton suit. I got something I want to try on her just to see if I can change up the look and kind of get something a little closer to what we saw or what I've seen in some of the graphic novels. So here's just a simple mod that I took the trench coat off my Max Punisher figure here. The head sculpt's cool, and I think with the trench coat on, that really makes her look pretty badass. Now I'm going to trim the back of the collar to allow her hair to fit a little bit better. But yeah, I think putting that on adds a really cool bit of flair to her. Cool, I like that look a lot. So let's do some quick comparisons. So for comparisons, we're going to start with, of course, some Action Force figures. And I have my two Dealers of Death here with my reissue of Pandora and the Bone Collector 2.0 figure. And if I take his helmet off here, we can gauge that she's going to fit in just right with this scale, at least with Action Force. And showing off some of the newer bucks that are from Hasbro, we have the Avengers Black Widow, which is on the new female body buck, and you can see she's a lot smaller than the Muerta. And then we have Wreckage here representing the Joe male buck, and he's relatively around the same size as Bone Collector here. Bone Collector's a little taller, so you can see that relatively she's going to fit in your main 1/12 scale figure lines. So final impressions of the Executive Replica La Muerta. For the first time holding one from this company, she doesn't feel loose. I don't have any loose joints with her. Everything articulates fair enough without applying any heat to it. Hands are easily replaceable. She was $65 at Nerdzoic. That's a little, it was a little spicy, at least for me. Seems a little excessive for what you're getting. And again, not a bad toy. Again, the paint overall is really well done. I do have a couple of blemishes and mispaints on this figure. And the skin tone is a little orange for me. Some things I wish we also got with her would be an alternate head with a little more emotion. She would look great with some soft goods, I think. So if you can find like a soft goods trench coat or a short jacket to put over, I think that'll really make her stand out a lot. And I'm not trying to say this as being all negative or nitpicky. Like I said, she is a good figure. I just feel like she's a little, I don't know. I said the price was a little spicy, and that's true for what you're getting. And while I didn't really experience a lot of stuff with her, I know in the past from other people, the QC sometimes is very hit or miss, but I understand the FOMO for her. The sculpt and the deco for her makes her stand out really well, and it's not as comic bookish as the other two that come out with this trio. She does fit in the best with a variety of 1/12 scale figures. That's what I bought her for, to fit in with my Valiverse stuff and G.I. Joe stuff. I'm happy to have her in my collection. It sounds like I'm very unimpressed, and that's not the case. I mean, she is, like I said, a very good figure. But once I had her in hand, it's not as the thrill is not as strong as it was waiting for her to show up. So that's my impressions of La Muerta. As always, thank you guys for watching so much. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.